Embassy of Germany in Azerbaijan. For us, it's a great pleasure. Mr. Ambassador, I'm preparing very much for this interview and set some questions for you, and we will have a very nice interview. With your permission, I will begin. Could you tell us more about yourself? Because people in Azerbaijan are very interested in this information. Because everyone loves you and everyone sees your job here in Azerbaijan and they are very pleased with this job. And that's why we would like to know more information about yourself from your side, please.
Of course, it's a pleasure first for me that I have the chance to give this interview. For me, as an ambassador and as a German diplomat, the so-called public diplomacy is one of our main tasks. We are here to explain our interests, to represent Germany, and to inform the people in our host country about our country. And it's not only the relations to the government, but it's also the relations to the people. In particular, in this country, Germany and Azerbaijan, Germans and Azerbaijanis have a very close, long-lasting history together. He has a lot of German influence in the country, and therefore it is for me very useful to have this opportunity to talk to the public. Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, I arrived here last year in July 2019. Before I was a German deputy ambassador in Vietnam, in Hanoi, and before I came to Vietnam, I was a German ambassador in Congo and the Democratic Republic of Congo in Kinshasa. I dealt with Africa many years, but in the beginning of my career, I was the desk officer in charge for the so-called crisis areas of the former Soviet Union between 1992 and 1994. And in this capacity, I had been on mission various times here in the region because the still ongoing conflict between Azerbaijan and Armenia was at the time very high on the agenda. There was really the war between 92 and 94. I was partly the German representative in the Minsk group, so I had a certain knowledge about the region. This was also one of the reasons why I was very happy when the Federal Foreign Office offered me this post here in Baku. And of course, the city has changed tremendously after my last visit. I checked in my old photos. It was in April '94 that I was here in Baku. And it was very striking for me, even at that times, the hospitality of the people, the openness and the friendliness. And so I'm very glad to be back here in this permanent post of being the German ambassador to Azerbaijan.
And what about main goals that you've set as ambassador in Baku?
Yeah, as I told already, Germany and Azerbaijan have a long history. 200 years ago, Germans came from Germany to Azerbaijan, to this region, and settled here in the western part of the country. We had a lot of influence in the city here, city planning in the 19th and 20th century. Germany had consular and later diplomatic representation here in the country already by the end of the 19th century. And for me, of course, it is necessary, or one of the main tasks is to strengthen these personal relations between Germany and Azerbaijan. Today, furthermore, Azerbaijan plays an important role as an energy supplier for Germany, so we have also economic interests in the country, and the situation, the geopolitical situation of the country between Turkey, Iran, Russia is of course also of our concern. So my task is to inform my government about the situation here and to, as I already said, to represent our interests in the country to the Azerbaijani government, including the strengthening of the cultural relations, promoting German language, and inviting Azerbaijani students to come to Germany.
What can you say about economic cooperation between Germany and Azerbaijan? At what level are relations between our countries, and what are the prospects for these relations, by your opinion?
Yeah, we have a cooperation, bilateral cooperation, since the beginning of the regained independence of Azerbaijan in the early 90s. It was with the German Development Agency, the GIZ, at that time the GTZ, that we set up various projects together with the Azerbaijani government to modernize and to strengthen the structures here in the countries. I know from these times that Azerbaijan and the people here, they were oriented towards Europe. And it was our task to assist Azerbaijan to reach this goal, to prepare the structures for getting closer to Europe, whether it's on the judicial legal system, whether it's in the economic system, working for more openness, for more freedom, both in the economic sector and also in the social sector. Currently, Germany is the chair of the European Union in the second semester of this year, and also in this framework, we are very happy to work in the framework of the Eastern Partnership of the European Union. Germany and 6 countries in the EU members, including Germany, and 6 countries in Central Eastern Europe, including Azerbaijan, are forming this Eastern Partnership. And in this framework, we also want to strengthen the relations with twinning projects and to help that Azerbaijan becomes closer and closer to the European way of doing business, way of thinking, and way of living.
Are German companies working in Baku? If yes, how many for nowadays?
We have around 150 German companies here. But a part of this, we don't have big production companies here, but many are busy in the consultancy, financing sectors. Of course, many of them are related to the oil and gas industry, which is normal. But I think the most important issue in the German and Azerbaijani economic relations is the fact that we have here a binational German-Azerbaijani Chamber of Industry and Commerce. This chamber this is an association of German and Azerbaijani companies. They work together and are together in this association. And this association was founded in 2012. And at that time, it was only the second chamber of this type in the area of the former Soviet Union. And it was only in Moscow and in Baku. So this also gives a signal of the German industry and commerce sector that we expect a lot of our economic relations, be it in trade, be it in industry. And today we are also busy in the so-called second dimension of the OSCE. This is the economic dimension, strengthening the connectivity between Asia and Europe. And Azerbaijan is one of the logistic hubs here in the center. In the OSCE, we are working together with the port of Alat and the Green Port Initiative. The German government puts a lot of money in this. So we are very proud that we are working together also on this international level, not only in the bilateral.
Are there any educational programs for Azerbaijani students?
We have around 1,400 Azerbaijanis studying in various institutions of higher education in Germany.
Nowadays?
In these days, yes. This is very important. And there's the universities, the University of Applied Sciences, there are other schools. And a big part of them, they are sent from Azerbaijan to Germany with a scholarship of the German Academic Exchange Service, DAAD. The DAAD is an institution of the German universities, and it is famous, world famous, for its research and study scholarships. The applications in this country are the 3rd highest worldwide after the United States and Russia. So it is important to see also that the young Azerbaijanis are attracted by Germany in education. What is still our concern is that the knowledge of German, which is helpful and necessary in many of the studies and training programs in Germany, that this knowledge is diminishing here because we don't have enough German teachers. We are currently working and discussing with the Ministry of Education, and we will have also, I'm sure, the opportunity to meet the new minister to discuss this issue. So we want to strengthen the German education in the schools here. Otherwise, we will lose the basis for continuing this high number of Azerbaijanis to going to Germany. Very often I am asked why in Baku we don't have a German school. The answer is we don't want to have a school for German experts and some elite people. We want to have a broad approach of German language training in normal Azerbaijani schools, not only in Baku, but also in the regions. And this is our approach. There's a special program, it's called the PASH, Partner School Program. We have 4 schools here certified, and we want to have more of them, and we want to have then the curricula adapted to a better training of German in order to enable students to continue their studies in universities here and later in Germany.
Mhm. Your wish for Azerbaijan in general and for Azerbaijani people?
My special wish is that Azerbaijan can live in peace, that
Yes.
the territorial integrity can be preserved, that we will find, it will take a long time, but we finally find a way to solve the conflict with Armenia, that the area of Nagorno-Karabakh became a bridge between the two people. Because you're living here in the area and you cannot decide that Canada is your neighbor is, they are how they are, and that this situation can be solved. We, as member of a Minsk group, we are doing our utmost to help and to assist. The recent developments have shown that it is necessary to put more engagement in this. And of course, for the Azerbaijanis and the society, I'm hoping, and I really wish this, that together with our cooperation in the bigger European family, be it the Council of Europe or other institutions, that the society can develop itself as an open society which can discuss the way Azerbaijan wants to go in future, and to make this former choice of the 90s that Azerbaijan is a part of Europe, that this can become true.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Ambassador, I would like to thank you again for this interview. Really very nice, and you answered all our questions that we needed. It was very interesting for us. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the questions. It was my pleasure.